righty. It is 6 p.m. on June 8th, and we will call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. City Clerk, will you please take roll call?
Councillor Kelly Berger.
Here.
Councillor Dan Butler.
Here.
Councillor Pete Temslin.
Here.
Mayor Rachel Anderson.
Present.
Councillor Brandon Janice.
Present.
Councillor Harmony Rudder.
Here.
Is there a motion to excuse Nicole?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any opposed? Got my head on a swivel today. All right, not opposed. We will be moving on to the approval of the final agenda. Are there any changes, additions? Not seeing any. All right, can I get a motion to approve the final agenda as presented?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any opposed? Seeing none. All right. That was approved. Moving on to ceremonial. So we have 3 items for ceremonial today. The first one is the America 250 proclamation. All righty. Whereas on July 4th, 2026, the United States of America will commemorate the semi-quincentennial, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and whereas this milestone provides an opportunity to reflect on our nation's history, honor the contributions of all Americans, and reaffirm the democratic ideals that define the United States, and whereas the Northwest Ordinance of 1787, following the Treaty of Paris in 1783, established a framework for territorial governance and the creation of new states, including what would become the state of Washington in 1889. And whereas the city of Sequim was established as a community in the 1890s and formally incorporated as a city on October 31st, 1913, following its growth as a settlement shaped by farming and logging. And whereas the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution, founded in 1890, is a non-political women's service organization whose members are lineal descendants of patriots of the American Revolution, with a local chapter known as the New Dungeness Chapter, organized on June 7th, 2025. And whereas the New Dungeness Chapter, National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, honors those who achieved American independence and all who have shaped and preserved our nation over the past 250 years. Now, therefore, I, Rachel Anderson, Mayor of the City of Sequim, on behalf of the Sequim City Council, do hereby proclaim July 2026 as America 250 Month in the City of Sequim and encourage community members to commemorate America 250 by learning more about the history of the American Revolution and the enduring legacy of service that has shaped our nation. Signed on this 8th day of June, 2026. I do not believe. Oh, we do have somebody?
We do.
Excellent. Fabulous.
Can I read first or after? Is it
Whichever.
first or after? Okay. Good evening. I'm Anita Reynolds, Regent of the New Dungeness Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution. I have here with me Mona Kinder and Lori Gilchrist. Our chapter is just 1 year old now, and we're pleased to be based and working in the Sequim community. As an organization founded on historic preservation, education, and patriotism, we have a focus on promoting the celebration of America's 250th birthday. It is a meaningful opportunity not only to reflect on the sacrifices and achievements that have shaped our country, but also to consider the role of each of us plays in preserving its story for future generations. Thank you, Mayor Anderson, for signing this proclamation. Oh, we get to keep. You get to keep.
Are there any comments from council before I move on to the next proclamation? No. All right. Moving on to the Juneteenth proclamation. Whereas the Emancipation Proclamation, signed January 1st, 1863, by President Abraham Lincoln, declared all people held as slaves in the Confederate States are and henceforward shall be free. And whereas June 19th, 1865, Major General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas to announce the end of the Civil War and the end of slavery, more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was issued. And whereas Juneteenth has since been celebrated, spreading across the state of Texas until it was declared a state holiday in 1980. Shortly thereafter, other states began celebrating. And whereas, known as Juneteenth National Independence Day, Juneteenth officially became a federal holiday on June 17th, 2021. And whereas this holiday recognizes the history of our country is an opportunity to celebrate human freedom, reflect on the grievous and ongoing legacy of slavery, and rededicate ourselves to rooting out systemic racism that continues to plague our society as we strive to deliver the full promise of freedom and equality for all Americans. Now, therefore, I, Rachel Anderson, Mayor of the City of Sequim, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim June 19th, 2025 as Juneteenth and urge all citizens to recommit to the work of equity, equality, and justice, reminding us all of the centuries of struggle, courage, and hope that have brought us to this time of progress and possibility, and ensure that the events of 1865 are not forgotten. Signed on this 8th day of June, 2026. I do not believe
We do not have anyone to receive the proclamation.
All right, just wanted to double check. Any comments from council? All right. Moving on to the Pride Month proclamation. Whereas the month of June is recognized nationwide as Pride Month in commemoration of the June 1969 Stonewall Uprising in New York City, a defining moment in the ongoing movement to end discrimination, violence, and marginalization experienced by two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and asexual persons. And whereas all people are entitled to equal protection under the law and to be treated with dignity, respect, and fairness, free from discrimination. And whereas 2S LGBTQAI+ individuals and families are valued members of the Sequim community and continue to contribute to the civic, cultural, educational, economic, and social life of our city. And whereas the City of Sequim recognizes the importance of fostering a welcoming and inclusive community in which all people can live openly and authentically, and where diversity is respected and celebrated. And whereas Pride Month provides an opportunity to reflect on the progress that has been made, to acknowledge the work that remains, and to affirm our commitment to equality, justice, and inclusion for all. Now, therefore, I, Rachel Anderson, Mayor of the City of Sequim, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim June 2026 as Pride Month in the City of Sequim and encourage all residents to recognize and celebrate the contributions, resilience, and dignity of 2SLGBTQAI+ community members and to join in promoting a community that is welcoming, safe, and inclusive for all. Signed on this 8th day of June 2026. And I do not think we have anyone here that we can present that proclamation to. Are there any comments from council?
I did want to make a quick comment. Thank you so much, Mayor Anderson, for reading all three of these very important proclamations for our community. May we all be walking forward with eyes wide open about where we've come from, where we're going, and where we'd like to be in the future as a community. So thank you.
Anybody else? All right, moving on to public comment. This is a limited public forum. Individuals providing public comment must not disrupt or otherwise impede the orderly conduct of the meeting. This is not a forum for hate speech. The City of Sequim supports the public's First Amendment right to free speech, but it does not support hate speech. Speakers are expected to be courteous and refrain from making hateful comments, sounds, or remarks. Any offensive words and conduct shared by the public do not reflect the city's values. The City of Sequim stands firm in its commitment to being an inclusive community and rejects discrimination of any kind.
For individuals attending in person, please take a moment to silence your cell phones. In a moment, I will collect the public comment sign-in sheet. Each person will have 3 minutes to speak on any topic, and there will be a timer visible on the screen. A total of 30 minutes or 10 speakers will be permitted for public comments. When your name is called, please state your name if you are representing an organization and your city of residence. There was no one signed up for remote public comment this evening. Our first speaker this evening is Teresa Miller.
Good evening, Teresa Miller, Sequim, Washington. Hello. I was wondering, is it all right to comment on a report from last month? Yep, okay. On number 11, under 11B, the city manager report. Under Public Works, Chris Goins, the new Public Works Director, and his wife were in Sequim last week for a meet and greet with staff. My question is, it doesn't look like Chris is local, and I have not been able to find any information on Mr. Goins or Miss Goins, not sure, or excuse me, Mr. Goins. I would be interested in that. And also, was this listed on the local job openings for our county? And then next item I had was number 8D on the agenda regarding Otak. And the acronym would be, I'm not quite sure what that was. I had to look it up. My question to that would be, or my comment would be, did this go out for bid? And if so, are we $8,000 over the bid? Is there a description of the additional task that amounts to $8,000, and what are the benefits? Thank you.
Our next speaker is Val Shaw.
My name is Val Shaw. And I want you to know that I'm speaking for Grand Pioneer, who's no longer with us. I live at 310 South Shaw Lane, known as the Shaw Stump Farm. I've got some problems. There was a West Hammond expansion that has caused me some issues on my farm, and I now have some dead trees that no one wants to deal with. We were asked to be good neighbors and move our fence in 10 feet so that a little road could be put in to help with the wellness clinic. And trying to be good neighbors, we said, sure, you know, move it in, just make sure everything gets moved back, make sure everything is as good as it was. And I came home and there's a slope on my land and there was rocks on my land and I had no idea why. And I said, get rid of these rocks. I don't know why you put rocks on my property. And you destroyed some other rock piles my great-grandparents had put in, and I was not a happy camper. And I kept asking my brother, did Mom ever say anything about this since my dad had passed away? And we had told my mom, like, please make sure that you talk to us before we sign anything, because all we were asked to do was move our fence. There's nothing about putting a grading slope in and digging ditches and putting a drain in. And so I wrote you all a letter back in February, sent you 2 tree reports. First tree report was what would happen if the irrigation pipe was put in. It would destroy those beautiful 100-year-old fir trees that you see in every picture of Sequim. And it talked about you can't work within the tree line. You have to be 30% past that with machinery or you're going to destroy the tree roots. So the fence got built. I gave that information to the people who built that road. And they said, fine, just let us know. We'll take care of it for you. I'd already lost 4 alder trees because of it that I had to have taken down. And they willingly like, hey, we'll take it down. We'll flatten it out. But they weren't replaced. And they said, sure, we'll cut it down and we'll replace it for you. So about 6 months later, I noticed one of the trees was dying on top. And I said, I know that means the tree is dying and something's happened to it. And they said, oh, well, we'll look at it. And they said, no, we put a little side fence in. That didn't affect it. And I'm like, you're right. It was the heavy machinery that you kept running back and forth across there multiple times and grading multiple times. And then I talked to them last summer and they said, well, the tree report you gave us wasn't good enough. Give me another tree report. So I had a forensic arborist come and he said, yes, those trees have been compromised. They need to be looked at. One of them is dead. Got limbs coming down. I have cattle in the field. It's going to come down and hit me or someone else. You expand West Hammond, the rest of them are going to go down. And so in what you told me is you let me look some public records up. I want to know what 2 city officials showed up at my mother's house, a 90-year-old widow who's half blind with tremors, and told her she had to sign this permit, in which it talks about all this grading. She'd asked, like, don't have anyone here to look at this. She asked if she could keep it overnight, and she was told no, that she needed to sign it. So I think the city of Sequim has some responsibility for those dead trees. And you have responsibility to come look at it. No one has done that for me. That tree comes down, someone's going to get hurt. Thank you.
And that concludes public comment.
All right, thank you to everyone who spoke at public comment. We have nothing for the public hearing portion of the agenda. Next up is consent. City Clerk, oh, Dan.
Yeah, sorry. I just wonder if we want to clarify for Teresa Miller, who asked specific questions, that this isn't, we don't have an opportunity to answer those questions, just so there's clarity and not ambiguity there.
Yeah, correct. So we don't respond to public comment typically, but I do highly recommend you send your comment to the city manager if you haven't already. I don't know if the city clerk got your email address or a phone number, but if send that email would be great. Thank you. Alrighty.
She provided the email address and phone
Excellent.
number.
Fantastic. I will say too that one of the best ways, so we don't typically respond to specific things during public comment, but I do highly recommend that if you don't have access to email, definitely call the city and figure out the best person to talk to. Oftentimes, even city council isn't the best person to talk to because we are not the subject matter experts. And it's always best, in my opinion, to talk to the subject matter experts. And then if you do call or email city council, well, I can't speak for other counselors, but I would hope that we would all try to get you in touch with the right person. And yeah, this is just like a general statement. Anybody that's talking at public comment at any meeting, we try to get you in touch with the right person. So thank you. City Clerk, could you please read the consent agenda?
Items on tonight's consent agenda are claim vouchers totaling $548,625.64. The City Council meeting minutes from May 26, 2026. The Certified Acceptance Qualification Agreement. The Otak On-Call Consulting, a contract amendment. The LTAC minutes and grant approvals. Margaret Kirner Playground Design, a contract award. Procurement of materials and supplies, ILA with Clallam County, Planning Commission appointments, and Sequim Arts Commission appointments.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any opposed? Seeing none, that will be approved. Thank you. We have nothing on general business, which is very, very rare occurrence. Nothing in information only. So we are on to our reports. 11A, Youth Liaison. I don't know if you've ever gotten the chance to report this early in a meeting.
There might have been one last January, I want to say. I don't remember that. There was one where it was early, but no, this might be the earliest. For purposes of the record, this is Lincoln Forest Student Liaison speaking. My first thing to report is last month on the 27th, the high school had a scholarship award night where a lot of seniors had submitted a scholarship notebook for community members to look at and then award scholarships to students. It was also just a night to celebrate scholarships that students had received already, and a lot of those were read out, or whether it be a private organization or from schools. We had Layla over here get to flex her scholarship on everyone. It was a very great night. A lot of people received scholarships, and yeah, very proud of a lot of the people that got called up that night. Additionally, last week, the big one, graduation occurred for Layla and I. Not Lily, she's taking her sweet time with that one. Graduating class was we had 219 people graduate, I think. Not everybody participated in the ceremony, but I'd say most. It was a very fun night. And then right after that, we got to go to the Safe and Sober grad party hosted by a lot of the parents of students over at Sequim Community Church. That went till 4 in the Really, it went till 5, I'd say, just because the closing took forever. Not complaining though. The reason it took so long was we were receiving all these gifts from the grad party people. It was amazing. Lots of fun. Lots of gambling games. It was Las Vegas themed, so a lot of poker and a lot of blackjack was played. Very fun night, and that is all I have to report.
For purposes of the record, this is Layla Sundin, Youth Liaison speaking. Along with graduation, we also had the baccalaureate, which is a religious ceremony, just celebrating graduates. It's non-denominational, and it took place at also Sequim Community Church, and that was organized by the students. And then also we had the senior recognition assembly. So that's something that the high school does to recognize seniors who received department awards, and it's where people get cords and such, and that was a lot of fun. Lots of really amazing people, and it was a good celebration of our seniors. And then we also have a dance recital coming up on the 13th through the dance center. So that's exciting as well.
For the purposes of the record, this is Lily Chemslin, Youth Liaison speaking. School is out this Thursday, which is a half day for all those people who are not seniors. We have Link Crew training as well on this Tuesday for people who are going to become Link leaders this fall for our freshmen. And then we had our Ramblewood Leadership Retreat last Wednesday. And that was a really great thing for all the leadership people to go out and just connect and meet the new freshman incoming leadership class and plan for homecoming and other school events. Thank you.
Quick question about the Link Crew. So you have a training right before school ends. Do you guys meet throughout the summer? Do you have a little meeting when school starts again? Or I was just curious about that.
We meet once before school ends and then 3 times. I think one of them's the Link Day, is we have 2 Link trainings and then a Link Day when school, like right before school starts. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any questions or comments for our youth liaisons?
Just congratulations to you graduates. Well done.
I'm
And
so proud.
do you mind dunking on us one more time with your scholarship? Don't need no amounts, but what is it? Where are you going and what are you doing? Yeah, sorry.
I'm going to the University of Chicago, and I'm going pretty much for free for the first year. So,
Little school in the Midwest there. That's great.
And Lincoln, where are you going?
I'm going to be going to Western Washington University for behavioral neuroscience.
I am always so impressed when seniors know what they want to do, because I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And so I'm just so impressed. I'm so impressed that you know what you want to do. And I'm so looking forward to see what you guys do. You're just amazing. You're amazing people. So thank you for being here, and thank you for taking the time to be with us as youth liaisons. We really appreciate it. Right.
Good point. Heather just said, what's our process? Since we're on the youth liaison conversation, we are going to be recruiting for the next one.
Yeah.
Could you speak on that, Mayor?
Yes. So in the previous years, what we have done is it's kind of a scramble at the beginning of the school year, just because we try and get like what's that called? Like staggered. We try to stagger the positions. So we have a couple seniors leaving. So Lily will be a senior next year. So we'll be looking at 11th or 10th graders. I can't remember exactly, but we encourage everybody to apply. And within those first few weeks of school, sometimes it's just an email to like the school admin and the lead teacher, Mr. O'Mara, I want to say. Sometime, like there was one time I went down to the high school and talked to the whole Link crew, or maybe not Link crew, like the whole leadership, Interact Club. That's what it was. Sorry. And then they put in their applications by a certain deadline. And then we gather all those up and have interviews. And then and other council members can join in on that process. And then I guess you could call it a subcommittee, brings the recommendation to council. So I think I wrapped that up in a nutshell.
And just to confirm, it is only 11th and 12th. So if you guys know people, that would be good.
Mm-hmm. But I am glad that we made the cap 3 student liaisons, because then it honestly, it makes it a little easier on us, so that we can try and do that more staggered option. And it gives more flexibility to let a senior apply so that they can be a youth liaison for 1 year and then graduate. And then it's not like, oh no, we lost all of our youth liaison. You know what I mean? So yeah, looking forward to that process. Yeah. And yeah, if you guys know anybody, let them know. We'll be looking once school starts. All right. Any other questions or comments for youth liaisons? Nope. Okay, on to city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Always nice to meet with you. I'll just add to the Mayor's summary. The Mayor and the Clerk have worked hard on the student liaison process. It's digitized now. The students can fill out their application online. There's guidelines that are really clear and easy for them to refer to. So it's really transparent and efficient at this point. So I appreciate all the work that's gone into making that a smooth process. So I was told to hold my comments to 3 bullet points. I'd like to use my first one up by addressing, this was already planned, but the timing's right for the comment we heard. I'd like to introduce Chris Goins to the council. Today's his first day. He's our new Public Works Director. I'll give you a brief summary, but I'll invite him to the podium to answer any questions and to further introduce himself. He comes to us from Oregon State University, where he graduated with a degree in civil engineer, moved from college to the city of Albany, where he served 9 years in the Public Works and Engineering Department, and then to the state of Alaska, where he moved through the Department of Transportation to become one of 3 regional directors for the entire state of Alaska. And he saw I don't know how people around the country see our postings. I think Sequim is on everybody's radar map to try to get employed here, but that's just my thought. Not sure about how he saw him, but glad he did. He applied along with, I think, 40 or 50 other people, and through the series of I don't know how many interviews, many, both online and in person with multiple groups of 5 to 8 people, he was unanimously selected. So really grateful to have him start today. He's got a week to overlap with our current Public Works Director for knowledge transfer and information sharing. And I asked him to come tonight so you could see him in person and ask any questions. And maybe you want to give some more summary, but that's what I remember.
Well, thank you, Matt. And I just want to say thank you to Matt for the care that he's shown to my family in making this move and wanting to apply and come here. And when they were all interviewing me, I was interviewing you all. And I was looking at the community and I was impressed. And I was impressed by how everyone took care of one another, cared for one another through that entire process. And ultimately, I made a pretty major life decision to come here. And the reason I did that was because I'm a family guy, plain and simple. And some things are changing in Alaska that were going to make me very hard to do that. My wife had the privilege of being asked to stay in Sequim this last summer as my daughter went to a volleyball camp in Tacoma area. And we have friends who have been dear friends in Juneau that had moved here. And they said, come stay at our house. My wife kind of fell in love with the place. And, December rolled around and I hadn't applied for anything, wasn't really exactly looking. And then I saw this come open and it was like, oh my word, are the stars aligning to make this possible? And we totally did. And Matt was kind enough to let me send my daughter down here after we interviewed and just get comfortable and take some patience with us as we made a pretty massive decision because the job I'm in is exceptionally political. So I am happy to be here. I am blessed to be here is the way I see it. And what I continue to see is a community that is giving, that is caring, that is kind. And wants to build trust with the citizens and wants to build trust with one another. And I look forward to serving the staff. I look forward to serving you and ultimately the public in the best way possible, and building that staff so that they can be the best that they can absolutely be to serve you all. So I won't go further than that, but Teresa Miller, it is a wonderful time to meet you. And I will sit down with you. And if you'd like to get coffee, that would be great. And my wife is also an artist, and so she paints botanical art. So she loves what she sees here. And last thing, we wanted to raise our kids by the mountains and the ocean. That's why we left and went to Juneau in the first place. We actually only thought we'd get one, and we found both, and that was amazing. And then we heard about Sequim, and we found out there's sunshine, because there's not sunshine where we come from. It's 60 to 100 inches a year. So we're blessed. And after I took the job and I started telling folks, my former deputy commissioner, I called her and I was talking with her because she lives in one of the islands here. And she said, "Oh, you mean little Juneau?" And I do not claim that. But as I found out, my former director still lives here, still interacts on the APWA circuit. And it's becoming very aware. There's a lot of friends, and I just loved how small the community interrelated is. Anita, who gave for the Daughters of the Revolution speech up here, her husband was with me right before this meeting doing an inspection with me. So I love that. And I love being a part of that. And I'm really excited about that. So thank you for the opportunity. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you again, Matt, and the staff. Really appreciate everything you've done to make me and my family really comfortable here. Yeah.
Great. Look forward to working with you. Welcome to the team.
Yeah. Any questions by staff or by council before we move on?
No,
Okay.
I don't have any.
There'll be plenty of time, of course, but yeah, I just wanted to make the introductions. Thank you again, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
I guess the next, and I'm not really doing this in order of importance or priority, but the other two items I guess I would select would be, you've probably are aware that our criminal justice amendment is coming due. We signed a 6-month amendment onto our 10-year agreement in December. You all were participating in that. And we've been collecting data and meeting with each of the 4 components of the criminal justice continuum, and are finally getting some templates from the county for our city attorneys to work on, finalizing the data. It looks like we'll be moving forward with them. A lot of emails back and forth, but I would say it's a very positive dialogue, and we're keeping our word and our timelines, and everything is as we've told them all along. Sometimes that doesn't get reported exactly that way, but that is the fact. So I'm really grateful for. Got a great team internally, Chief Hill, Sue, of course, and Christina, myself. So, yeah. The last thing I know will be interesting to you all going forward. We've alluded to it a couple times, and you've heard from a lot of the residents about our water situation. We mentioned that we had an executive task force, but on top of that, we decided to create a more formal strategic water initiative. So you'll see SWI because we abbreviate everything. So we got a new acronym, but Paul found a great consulting group that works specifically in these kinds of matters. We signed a contract with them to give us an outline and an overview of a greater project to be done. But we had an 8-hour session with them last week. Half the day was with the water crew and with Public Works staff, and then with the executive task force. It was very productive. They're right on task, and we hope to be getting a final product from them that's exactly the scope we need to be able to build. It's going to be a foundation that we can build a living document that will surpass any of us here. We hope to update this annually. It's input from all of the master plans, will involve the community and all the state departments, and everything from water rights to, use of reused water, et cetera, et cetera. So it will be a very comprehensive plan, and it will be a living document for everybody to any council members and going forward and the community to always refer to, just to be a fact sheet on steroids for all things water. So that was a great meeting. So any questions I can answer? It's always nice to meet with you all. Thank you.
Is that a strategic water initiative where we're potentially looking for some community members
Yes.
in participation?
That will be exactly, yeah. We listed all, or they helped us identify all of the, we'd already kind of planned on all the different components or subcommittees of that, and they solidified that, and certainly there's a community engagement or community component to that for sure. Yeah, right. That's really the main goal, I think.
Thanks for moving that forward. And then in your number 8, your police department section there, I just really like the comment about the successful drone-assisted dementia patient search. That's just what a mashup of technologies and human experience, right?
So many positive things coming out of that, and decreased liabilities issues, safety, cost savings. Just, it's a great program. And between them and IT department, they've really put their heads together now. Instead of looking at little teeny control panels, we can connect them through we create a Teams meeting, and then we can use as big as monitor as the screen behind you to all watch from the camera of the video. So or multiple videos from multiple drones. So it's really a great thing for the city and our staff. So yeah.
Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Moving on to the City Council committee reports. Dan, did you want to talk a little bit about yours?
Yeah, thank you. The quarterly Jamestown Healing Clinic Advisory Board met last week, and of the various things that we get assigned to as part of our responsibilities being on council, this one is a huge privilege for me. It continues to be a very valuable service in our community and exceeding expectations in every way. There's currently 295 patients, which is up 11% from the last quarter's reporting period. This quarter, there's 45 new patients enrolled and 42 discharged. Most of the discharges were due to successful completion, which is, of course, what we hope for. There are a few that move out of the area or that are just lost to follow-up. They don't turn back up and nobody quite knows where they've gone. It's important. This is an important statistic for the community. 79% of the patients are from Clallam County, 15 are from Jefferson, and 6 are from other. And most of the other are from Kitsap, and they're patients who work over on this side, and seeking treatment from Jamestown is more convenient to their schedules. Demographics are fairly evenly split, 149 men, 146 women, and average age is 43, and that age has remained stable since the clinic opened. Coming into this, I had the assumption that the average age would be much younger. And just, I suppose, my own bias and uninformed, ignorant perception of the population that would use this sort of facility. But these are, solid, mature adults that are making life-changing decisions, and that's, I think, a very encouraging thing. 14 of the patients are known to be unhoused, and 30% report some level of housing instability. The mobile unit visits Clallam Bay is seeing a 60% increase in visits this quarter, primarily due to the mobile unit being out for repairs for several weeks in the previous quarter. It's turning out to be quite challenging. It's basically a really large converted motorhome. And so making that trip twice a week out to Clallam Bay puts a lot of wear and tear on the frame and transmission and so on. So keeping that unit repaired and roadworthy is an ongoing challenge. There's 144 patients depend on the mobile unit for their services. Then finally, a 16-bed behavioral health inpatient facility is nearing completion. And I want to use this opportunity to shout out to Carla and her team. The executive director of the clinic is very appreciative to the city and the cooperation that they've experienced, from issuing permits right through all the inspections in a timely manner. And so Carla and the team are highly, highly appreciated. They hope to have their occupancy permit by the end of this month, begin moving furniture in, and so on in July, start hiring and training staff in August and September, and the goal of seeing their first patients in October. It's a best-in-class facility, and we're very fortunate to have it here, as OMC, as we know, has very limited behavioral health staff and facilities. Jamestown already has hired a clinical director, a medical doctor of psychiatry, as well as an advanced registered nurse practitioner with advanced training in psychiatry. And those two will form their leadership team. And then from there, they'll be hiring out experienced RNs and behavioral health technicians, be hired and kind of onboarded and so on in August and September. So I just find these really encouraging meetings to attend.
Awesome. I really appreciate that report. Any other committee reports? Yes.
I just wanted to, it seems very timely and apropos to bring this up. An organization in the community, or that's starting to work in the community and create grants and start to form their organization, is working on a project to create, they're calling it Dixon's Recovery Ranch. And it's still very much in the getting to know you, building coalition relationships with other organizations and entities working in substance use disorder, and supporting folks in that that are seeking that type of service. So they contacted me, and I had a very interesting conversation with them, and encouraged them to reach out to other counselors. And I think it would be really helpful if they could speak with you, Dan. So I will definitely be reaching out to that person, or the member, excuse me, the organizer of the Recovery Ranch. So that's something just out there on the horizon. Thank you so much.
The only committee report that I have is for Sister City. We still have our application open for the Student Ambassador Exchange Program, and it'll be either June or July 2027 trip to go to Shiso, Japan, and hopefully a couple other cities like Kyoto and Nara. So that deadline for that application is June 12th. So if you know of any 8th, 9th, possibly 10th graders, we encourage everyone to apply.
Would that be limited just to Sequim school system
Yes.
students?
Yep. Oh yeah, so yes. Sequim school district, but even like Sequim area homeschool kids, we also encourage them to apply. Thank you for that question. All right. If there are no other committee reports, we will move on to open council discussion. Does anybody have anything for this portion of the agenda?
I just wanted to take an opportunity to highlight that in light of us doing our Pride Proclamation, this year's Sequim Pride celebration is scheduled for June 27th, 2026 at the Sequim Farmers Market. It was posted. It is posted on Facebook. So if you'd like to learn more, go find Sequim Pride on Facebook, and you can find out more information about that. I also was wondering if any of the other counselors had any interest in the model legislation that was shared with us by the Open organization. So if you're interested in talking more about that, please come talk to me.
Anything else for open council discussion? Going once? Going twice? All right. Up next on the planning portion of our meeting, so we have agenda planning Wednesday, June 17th at 9 a.m. I will be there. I think Nicole will be there. I think so. But you will not, Pete will not be there. So there is an open spot. So if you're interested, just let Heather know. And yeah, All right. And then the regular city council meeting will be June 22nd, Monday, June 22nd at 6 p.m. And I do believe we have a closed session that night at 5 p.m. Excellent. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I forgot to bring up something
Oh.
during open council discussion.
Is everyone okay? Okay. Anybody opposed to?
Okay, I will keep this really brief. Just wanted to mention that I received an email from a community member named Gary Minch, who is attending council this evening, and I printed out a copy of Gary Minch's comments for all of council to see, and it's also been filed with council correspondence. So thank you very much for coming this evening, Mr. Minch. This is an issue that we are all reviewing, and we're looking at it to make sure that we understand the issue as counselors, and staff is working through the issue as well. So appreciate you being here, and we'd love to connect with you at the end of this meeting. So that's what I wanted to bring up. I am happy to make a motion.
A motion to,
I move to adjourn this meeting at 6:47 p.m.
is there?
Second.
Excellent. Any opposed? Okie dokie. We are adjourned at 6:51.